I mean, it really just came down to that final ban on the first phase, that Aerith ban. Maybe they could have considered opening it up and then hopefully get a decent pick. But I think at this, it's as good as it gets for C9, right? I think that C9, I like the Aurora a lot. It's going to be able to buy some time here, but let's see how creative FCAP are going to be with that Lo Yi.
And it might just be that creativity that Cloud9 might use to shock the world, to shock everyone watching, and to get into a position where maybe they can fight for the knockouts. Here we go, an early start. Cold World getting into Kyle T's face.
Forces out an early retribution, which is exactly what you want to see. But in the meantime, right, you can see that FCAP, when they receive a push, they're going to be pushing somewhere else. They're going to find other places to find small advantages. And that's a very early recall on MarQT if he commits to it. But no, he needs to be around just to fight for Litho. Doesn't seem like this is going to be much of an engagement.
Checking out the bottom lane here, Basic and Super Marco. Again, this is as even a matchup as you can get. Super Marco definitely can bully the Moscow, but the Moscow can find an angle to CC the Predator that is the Roger. See, like that. Checking out Mobazane's emblem of choice. That is a killing spree. Long time no see.
Yeah, I think it's bold that he's going for killing spree here. I do feel like I don't think he's going to be able to snowball as hard as we would like to imagine. But then again, I could be entirely wrong. I think that C9 could just be pivoted towards playing around Mobazane then, rather than Basic, just to let Basic kind of sit on an island by himself. Because right now, his laning phase seems to be perfectly fine. No real bad trades coming in from him.
Yep, it's an honest approach to the scaling. Cloud9 is going from 0 to 30 to 40 to 50 to 60, and then maybe jump the gun when Mobazane is ready. Turtle coming up in about 10 seconds. You can see in the minimap Kyle TZ playing around with his quad shadows. And is this right, Gideon? Can we expect for Kyle TZ to do this, a delayed take first on the purple and then commit to the turtle? Because look,
I think
Mobazane is rushing it.
I mean, he could rush it potentially, but I do think that there is a gank opportunity on the top side of the map. But for Kyle TZ's sake, again, he's an assassin. The early levels doesn't really matter. And I think even Mobazane recognizes that, right? As long as he is keeping level with Kyle TZ, these neutral objectives honestly don't really matter as much.
Oh, Chris, aka Cold World, looking to reach level 4. He needs a kick. There we go. It's online. It's a fair fight.
Oh, wait. Mobazane turns around. He's not actually taking his purple buff. He's coming for the contest, knowing that Falcons AP.Bren are all around Cold World, trying to force something out from FCAP's side. Great ult! It lands on the 3 targets. Can he steal Kyle? Finds the turtle. Minoan Fury gets the knock of a first blood. It's going to be Cold World who goes down as Mobazane takes out Flap TZ. Mielo ends up dying alongside them.
2 for 1 plus the big one. The SOD coming in. I'm sure it hit someone, but that's not a position you want to put yourself in the early game as a Moscow. One more look at the team fight. It would have been great. That Frigid Glacier from MarQT was picture perfect, but the follow through, it was slightly lacking. And I think, in essence, right, theoretically, that's the perfect time to go in with the Spear of Alpha, maybe even jump in if you're bold, SOD in through basic, but the items just weren't there yet. The firepower wasn't present.
The firepower definitely wasn't present, and I think more so, it's kind of difficult to lock down the Hayabusa without having the space to do so, right? You can see that MarQT doesn't want to go further than he has to, and Kyle TZ can just sit back with the quad.
This is the kind of situation wherein you look at the emblems and you see the difference maker, even if they were at relatively the same amount of items just yet. The war cry made the difference for Kyle TZ's basic attacks, definitely.
100%, 100%, right? That's why war cry is pretty effective on assassins. We're seeing Ling users pick up the war cry because it's just that good.
In the early, it helps you get the extra 10, 15 damage per basic, which would eventually lead to the win. In the late game, don't get me started, it amplifies the damage all the more because you get the late game.
I mean, so far, considering everything that has been happening here, fun fact, 73 unique picks already here at MSC. Like, we've gone through a good amount of heroes, and I think people are digging deep to try and figure out how to win on red side. Like, I feel bad for C9 because they need that 2-0, but they're starting off on the weakest side of the meta.
70 plus. What's the number?
76.
76. So we're approaching 60-something% of the total hero pool, which, by the way, Jushin is not yet a part of. So you're looking at the 124, 125. Second turtle
right.
Started up already. Less than half health. Cold World jump in and get the kick.
He gets a really good kick. They can burst him down. Oh, it blows up. And Kyle, now he has to be a little bit careful. He doesn't have his bodyguard no longer. But Super Marco can clean up a fight if he finds the opportunity. A great play from Cold World. Slapped easy. Now just peeling away Mielo. He's too low to be part of this fight in Cold World. He's got nothing left in the tank. So C9, this turtle dance, kind of looking a little different. Flicker forward coming in from Flapteasy to get the penalty zone, but it looks like he's out of position with no follow-up and a backup. Kyle only gets the double here. Pretty good considering how everything panned out for Falcons AP.Bren.
That's deja vu for FCAP. Another 2-for-1 now in the backline basic.
He gets hit still. He dashes out of the way, but the dive is complete. The fast diversion from the side of Falcons AP.Bren. Never misses.
A fast break from coast to coast they went, and Basic didn't see that coming. I mean, he tried. That's good news for Falcons AP.Bren, though. They forced the flicker out of Peter Bryce, and now there's another 2 minutes that they have to wait until Basic is at full mobility. Check out that replay brought to us by STC. Wow. All it took was an Oogie Shadow kill and the sudden burst on Mobazane, and if I'm not mistaken, Cold World, to turn that all around, to make sure that Cloud9 disperses, sends Basic back into his lane, and give them a false sense of security. All this while, Falcons AP.Bren were thinking of the next step.
I think it's totally fine that Cold World goes down there. I think it's really unlucky that Mobazane actually dies there. Now, Mark UT, he still has his passive. He should die here regardless, because Kyle, really great position of the Quad Shadows. SOD is already out, but I don't think Basic wants to get in there just yet. He's heading to the top side of the map where he still has the protection of that tier 1. But let's see Kyle, how greedy is he going to get? He tries to go back in, doesn't get it, but does lose out on his retribution.
All right. C9 putting their foot down, saying, you're going to take these turtles, maybe a few kills on us, but not my buff. All this while, Super Marco working up on that top lane tier 1. The map has shrunk, Gideon. Where does Basic find farm?
Oh, wait, sorry. It's actually 73 unique picks. I added an extra 3 on top of that.
Okay, all right. Well, to be fair, there have been a few heroes picked up. Now, Zayn in trouble. Oh, my. Sky Piercer.
Unlucky. Yeah, online. Sky Piercer is online. Dude, if that was the first execution, right? How many kills he had before that could have been? I didn't see when exactly he got the Sky Piercer, but let's see how this neutral plays out.
Let's call it 2.
Let's call it 2?
Let's say 2 stacks now.
All right. I think that's fair. I think that'll be fair. That's a free turtle for the side of Falcons AP.Bren, and I think that C9 lost so much tempo from that one diversion play.
Everything currently on the map belongs to Falcons AP.Bren. Looking at it from a roll-to-roll, lane-to-lane perspective, what is the biggest gap we've got? Kyle, slightly up.
Unironically, I think it's between Flapteasy and Mielo as of right now, right? Based on, I mean, Mielo is 2 levels down. Oh no, he got hit by the edge of it. No, Fury already finds the pick.
Oh, and Few can now put himself in the front lines a little more. Despite this being a Luoyi, it can be a CQC mage. Start him young. Look at this father and son do. I would assume that they're father and son. Hello, enjoying the show in the Amazon arena.
It's great to see the families come together, especially showing their love for esports here. Now, let's see how this is going to play out, because Mobazane, he probably doesn't want to be there longer than he should. He still has Spear of Alpha to get on out of there, and even the Frigid... Wait, that's a kill coming from Mark UT, and now they start to initiate. They get in. Phew, the next fall doesn't get out of there as Mielo is going to follow up to try and get as many stragglers as possible. He gets hit by the penalty zone, and then Super Marco fires one. Kalteezy's already godlike, but Mobazane says, no, I move forward. I don't back down. He never gives up. Oh my God, Cold World saves Mobazane's life with a flicker way of the dragon.
Straight up martial arts. The kick into the spear, into the true damage from Beta. Cloud9 are here to play. They are not going to bow down and take this lion down. Falcons AP.Bren have to respect Cloud9's micro now. That top lane engagement deep behind enemy lines. Cloud9 showing up, man. What's the gap right now? About 3K, 2K? They definitely shrank that.
They definitely shrank that, and they're back into this. Yes, they're missing a lot of structures. Don't get me wrong. It is still a tough position to be in, but C9 definitely showed that they have what it takes to win out in these fights, and Falcons AP.Bren must respect them.
Good news for Cloud9 as well. They give a chunk of those kills over to MLBB. He's making bank. And yeah, they'll take whatever kills they can, but what is good to know for NA fans is there's 10 seconds left on Marco and Fuse Purify. So if somehow Cloud9 find a kick, if somehow Cloud9 find an engage off of Mielo, then maybe this could be a free Lord. But bad news is they spent a lot of battle spells. Look at all of those flickers on cooldown.
I think they need to play around these battle spells, right? That's their big X factor from the side of C9. And Falcons AP.Bren, they recognize it too. Oh, BOD for the side of Kyle.
All right. That is a BOD, yes. Diversion in. Kyle TZ picked up by Few. Here's the fight.
MLBB does get the Lord, but now the Frigid Breath is already down. Kyle finds Colward instantaneously as the Minoan Fury is going to be coming out, and unlucky because right now he's just chaining kills upon kills upon kills. This man's making stacks.
That is the most expensive Lord I've seen in a while. 4 for a major objective. And now Falcons AP.Bren making a beeline for this mid lane inhibitor.
Oh my goodness. Like, can Kyle not, like, he lost at least 30% of all, 40% of his stacks. He got it all back in a single fight.
Maybe even more now because he just got 3 out of that single engage by pressing his ult. Looking at the items, there is the Sky Piercer, the Blade of Despair, and the Hunter's Strike. As for MLBB, he's definitely building a little chunkier now. Oh, diversion out. War Axe, Queen's Wings, and Oracle on his way to a BFB.
Huh, interesting. I definitely think Colwell, I guess C9 called him off. I think Colwell was thinking the same thing that I was. He maybe could have gotten a single kick onto someone just as the diversion is completing, just to isolate one person.
Yep, a kill is a kill for Cloud9. You'll take anything you can, but you have to consider a death on a member of Cloud9 now could mean suddenly an inhibitor lost. A death on a member of Cloud9 could mean suddenly Falcons AP.Bren calls it the GG push and says you can't defend without Mar, you can't defend without Cold World. And where does this put Basic, right? Basic is still scrounging for farm, man. He is down a level from Super Marco. And I don't know if he has the Wind Talker by now, or rather the Wind of Nature, but he needs to survive the Yogi Shadow kill.
Yeah, I think the Yogi Shadow kill is the biggest problem. It's chaining too much, and I think that Kyle TZ is just way too far ahead in the game, right? Just him throwing the shurikens alone is pretty devastating.
It's gotta feel like a third of Basic's health at this point. He's on the way.
So close.
He has a Trinity, but he's still afraid of the Yogi Shadow kill. And we're not even talking about Flap TZ. We're not even talking about Super Marco. This has been almost 80-90% of the game now, 12 minutes elapsed. Kyle TZ wreaking havoc.
Pretty much, right? Like, Super Marco wants to get in there and be like, hey, guys, like, you know, I'm the big executioner. And Kyle's like, nah, I got Sky Piercer. It's all good, man. You could take a back seat.
Yep, just clean up.
Yeah,
the ones
just
that can't kill. And that puts Cloud9 in such a bad place mentally. Because they can clump up, feel the wrath of the Shadow kill, or clump up, feel the diversion, the yin-yang, and even defending the waves. Looking at their wave clear, Cloud9, Marcuity, and Basic are really their only hopes. Because if MLBB puts himself in a weird position, then he's using Beta and his skill set to clear waves. He wants to get into the fight as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really tough because even so, right, it's not like Cloud9's composition is very fluid when it comes down to the team fights. They usually just want the traditional front to back, and ideally, they always want to keep moving forward. That's what's really cool about this composition. But Falcons AP.Bren, with the addition of Kyle TZ, they have 4 members that basically hunker down in the fortress while Kyle is like, you know, throwing artillery at C9, forcing them to kind of spread apart because he's just that much of a threat.
Yep, and of course, there's the penalty zone you're thinking about. 2 big ticket AoE ults from Ogwin and Flap now that they
they find it outside of the map. They at least get MLBB as well as Cold World. What a fast play from Falcons AP.Bren. They did not see it coming.
Basic saw it coming. He saw the diversion destination and he threw the SOD, but really there's not much you can do. As a Moskov at this point, again, 14 minutes in, big Lord in mid, top top lane in jeopardy. This could be it.
Oh, once again, they're going to be using Glacier very early on, but they're going straight for the Crystal. They're ignoring a majority of the members, and FCAP take this 1-0 against C9. Wow, Kyle, he is nasty. I thought it was going to be a Nolan game, but man, his Hayabusa is just as good.
The fact that the Hayabusa can come in and out more fluidly than a Nolan can makes this dangerous. Again, I think between the pop-in from target to target, that might be Nolan's specialty. But if you're just looking for target acquisition, you're looking for the quick in-out to just exacerbate the fact that there's a Luya on the other side, makes it worse for C9.
Immediate profit is the name of the game. With that being said, let's throw it over to our analyst to break down this game. It's all yours, LaFell.
Thank you very much. And we're looking at the C9 players, and even they're trying to think, like, what do we change? Like, what went wrong? And I think we got to start with Cloud9 here. That Hayabusa is nasty.
Just like I said during the roundtable, or he said, I should say.
He said, yeah.
He was excited about this change, and he can bring the Assassins back to the meta.
Unfortunately, it's still a problem, especially in a team like Falcons AP.Bren that have intense amount of, and I said the word intense, right? Intense amount of in-game knowledge because of their experience.
It is pretty intense.
Give it to one of the veterans. Give it to someone who played from MPLPH Season 1. Give it to a two-time world champion, my personal GOAT, Few, and he can make wonders. This teleport alone is like a... He's just oozing with confidence. Well, eventually they did die. But definitely oozing with confidence. And it was uncalled for. Eventually, Cloud9 will die after this, and this will be a little bit of hope from Cloud9. But there will be another TP play that they did where Hayabusa showed himself in the bottom lane, and then what happened was, Few was just laughing because, like,
yeah, overconfidence.
Overconfidence.
Nice. Isn't it like a caster thing to say? It's like, look at how good this TP was, and then the team immediately died.
Yeah, like I said, it was oozing with confidence.
It was oozing with confidence. Yeah. It doesn't have to be good confidence. But either way, we're looking at the itemization here. We got to talk about the Hayabusa's itemization. There's a lot of burst damage coming in.
There is. And there was that little bit of hope that we saw from Cloud9 in the exchange that Wolf was just talking about too. But I think even if they had that, there was just no answer for the amount of momentum Cloud9 got alone on the Hayabusa, especially when the Skypiercer was locked in. That made it very difficult for them to deal with. And, you know, I think just letting them get the Loyi and the Minotaur, for example.
It's a bit much.
It's a bit much.
We gotta see as well how, honestly, Mark Cutie on the Aurora actually set it up quite well. It's just that, like our caster said, sometimes the follow wasn't really there. Like, it's like an entire team not really on the same page.
Yeah, I think it's also difficult to play against this composition where they're like all over the place. If anything, the only two heroes from the side of Falcons AP.Bren that aren't that mobile is the Thurs as well as the Minotaur. But at the same time, they have their own ways to be mobile with the flickers, and I think that both Flaptizzi as well as Ogwin have reserved their flickers so much that they only used it in important scenarios.
Honestly, looking at this match, it does seem like Falcons AP.Bren, they're making sure they control the early as well as mid very, very well. And part of that is because of Cloud9's retribution, man. Like, we saw Cloud9 trying to control the early and mid by taking away those turtles, and then Kyle is just like, thank you. And then he gets out.
Kyle gets a double kill after the first turtle.
Yeah.
I think it's difficult to play right after that.
And even if that wasn't a Hayabusa, like let's just say it was another assassin, it would have been the same result. Like the amount of pressure that comes from an assassin jungler with Warcry, mind you, getting a double kill plus those turtles, it's pretty devastating, you know. And they couldn't really deal with. I feel like once that was set, they were just constantly trying to catch their breath.
I like that you're talking about how it doesn't matter the kind of assassins they picked up, which shows that his hero pool is wide. So even if you ban out the Hayabusa, it's not going to mean much. And now, Wolf, can you explain us a little bit more about what happened in the game with the Telestrator or with Bob?
Bob will be helping us as... This is another showcase of the patience as well as the in-game knowledge coming up from Falcons AP.Bren. I'm going to try to zoom in once again. So you may not see it like literally, but there is the Blade of Despair. Just like, just show it to us. Yeah, so that's one thing. Cloud9 was farming, and you also with the mini-map, you can see that they are fighting around the Lord area, and you'll be surprised that the entirety of C9 actually burst the Lord. This Milo activated the ultimate.
Yeah.
Yep, and this is because they saw the Hayabusa in the bottom lane. Eventually, they will have enough time to burst it, which is great. But then you can see the disaster happening. Freshly picked up Blade of Despair. CloudTZ finds the angle to the backlines, gets Colward first, and then goes to the backline because of how well used the Quad Shadow was. And then Milo was just isolated from the team. There's no protection anymore. And then Mobazane, despite getting the Lord, is going to be gunned down. The damage output from CloudTZ was great. And what I'm trying to say in this particular clash is that Falcons AP.Bren knew their timings. The reason why they showed the Hayabusa in the bottom lane before the Lord fight happened, which eventually prompted the Cloud9 gang to burst the Lord, was because they had the teleport with the Luyi. Few did not show himself in the map. Obviously, C9 didn't know that even when the Hayabusa was in the bottom, that you could just TP the Hayabusa into the Lord fight, which was, I think, was insane amount of game sense.
That's why I'm going to ask. I would love to get your guys' opinion on this. More value, is it Luyi or Chip?
Still Chip for me.
Still Chip?
Still Chip.
So I think still Chip. But yeah, I think they're both great. You just don't give it up.
They're both devastating to the lineup.
The thing is, if one gets banned out, the stock for the one that's left just increases so much.
I agree. I agree so much. But now we got to check out the Sony MVP of the match. And it's going to be CloudTZ on that Hayabusa. So, again, honestly, looking at the game, how do you stop him? That's the only question. Like, even though you have a Cho, you have an Edith, but it's almost like, how do you stop him?
Well, pray for the first Lord fight to go badly in their favor, which unfortunately didn't happen. I understand why they wanted to go for the turn. To be fair, Mobazane's decision making to go for the Lord, I think that's a good decision on their part. But at the same time, they didn't know that that Ogwin was already level 4 in this case. Oh well, they probably knew, but they didn't respect it. That's what I'm trying to say. With the first turtle fight.
Yeah, and for that, you know, again, when you're gonna go against this assassin, I don't know. Like, I'm almost just kind of scratching my head here, and I don't know if anyone else is, but like, for Mobazane, you're playing against CloudTZ, he locks in this Hayabusa. You know that he's probably gonna opt for an assassin. Is Alpha the only answer that we're gonna see from Mobazane?
Oh, you know what? That's actually a very good question. Like, now we have to see what other options the Mobazane have, but we're still looking at our MVP here. And again, I saw like, it was like a 13 KDA. Yeah. Like, CloudTZ only died once, and that was an impressive showing on the Hayabusa. Now, gentlemen, we've heard your opinions, but I heard something special is coming up because both of our reporters, Steph Weezy as well as Eterna, they were able to talk with the coaches for both teams. So we're going to hear from both of them, but let's check it out.
Hi guys, back again with me, Eterna, and with me right now is Coach Ducky. Now, Coach, a lot of people are wondering, and I'm pretty sure a lot of viewers are also wondering, how is your preparation with Falcons AP.Bren this time around, especially coming against Cloud9?
We don't really prepare for a particular team. We just, train to improve, our team chemistry, cohesion, and stuff like that. So, just to answer your question real quick, we don't really prepare for a specific team. Yeah.
Okay. Last question before I let you go. What is your message to Coach Midnight?
Come on, man. Put on some show.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach. We'll bother you later on again. But of course, we're going to throw it over to Steph Weezy. Let's go.
Hi, I'm Steph Weezy. Anyways, listening to the coach, it looks like he doesn't have a specific plan for any of the teams. He just prepares the general plan, and then it works out for everyone. And to Midnight's like, come on, bring us a show. But you know what? Since Eterna threw it to Steph Weezy, you know what? I'll catch a throw, and I'm going to throw it over to Steph Weezy.
All right, guys, we are backstage with Coach Midnight as his team is on the stage getting ready to go up against their opponent, Falcons AP.Bren. I got to ask you, Midnight, how has Cloud9 been preparing for this battle?
A lot of scrims, a lot of watching of AP.Bren games, and just having fun.
Having fun. I think that's one of the most important parts, often overlooked. Well, for you, do you have a message you want to give out to Coach Ducky?
See you back in Manila.
There you go. See you back in Manila. Cloud9, good luck on your guys' journey in MSC 2024.
But what does that really mean?
I don't know what that means, actually.
What does that really mean? I'll see you back in Manila.
Sounds aggressive, Midnight.
It sounds very aggressive.
Yeah, I think it depends on the time. Like, see you in Manila soon, or see you in Manila after MSC.
Is he saying that both of them are gonna get eliminated?
Yeah, that's what I felt too.
Like it, right?
Yeah, like okay, yeah. I don't understand, but yeah, sure.
Is that confidence?
That is him putting on a show.
Is that confidence or negative confidence? Where's the aura here?
That's negative aura,
hey,
maybe.
What is the theme today?
Confusion.
All right.
With that being said, just letting you guys know, Midnight is a close friend of ours. You know,
Yes,
shout
sir.
outs to Midnight. Shout outs to Coach Ducky again. Both coaches are showing, I would say, charisma and enthusiasm for each other. But we got to talk about the games here for now, because going into game number 2 is definitely going to be an uphill battle for Cloud9.
Must win. I think if they lose 0-2, this means that they've just literally forfeited their chance of getting the knockouts. Even winning the next game, they will have to wish for a different scenario. Maybe get it through the tiebreakers. So definitely a must win.
No, it's easy, just win.
Boys.
It's easy, just win.
It's not that hard, you know. Just like get a few kills, destroy some turrets, and then go to the base, and then just destroy that too.
Why is it? Why are they finding it difficult?
Don't overcomplicate it. You know what, Midnight? Maybe you should let them.
We won't go there.
Okay.
Don't overcomplicate it. It's like, you know.
Okay.
Get good heroes.
Pick your hero. Well, maybe that's. I don't know. The alpha has to change, man.
Yeah, but maybe the alpha has to change. What? Like a Balman?
Yeah. Yisun Shin.
Yisun Shin. You know what?
Throw it back.
I like that.
Throw it
I like
back.
that.
Granger.
Oh, I like that better. I like that
Granger.
better.
Actually, the Granger looks interesting because
You need some early game.
Yeah, I think well, the revamp hasn't kicked in yet, but the upcoming Granger updates will be nasty.
Dude.
But it's not usable now, so.
Great. What's the new spell that isn't a war cry? People
War cry?
No, the one with that's
Temporal Rain?
Temporal Rain.
Temporal Rain.
Temporal Rain Granger. Yeah.
Okay.
After you deal the Death Sonata, you're just
yeah.
You're moving and grooving faster.
You're moving and grooving. You're moving and grooving. You may not get kills, but you're moving and grooving.
At least you look cool.
At least you look cool.
Yeah,
right?
Sure. Whew.
I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Jumping into the draft, because the problem with drafting against Falcons AP.Bren, because we heard the coach say it, they don't prepare a specific strategy for Cloud9, meaning to say that they're not like, oh, against them we got to use the bait, against them we have to use the Hayabusa. It's not that. It's like the draft is open because they don't prepare a specific hero for them. But Cloud9 seems like they prepared specific heroes for AP.Bren, but it's not working out.
Now I have my opinions about like drafting as well as specifically for the alpha argument. While it's true that maybe they should not think about the alpha anymore, I think that conceptually letting go of a Luyi is bad.
Yeah,
I agree.
For Cloud9.
I concur.
Because not only is the Luyi very strong, they also like to play utility junglers like Fredrins, for example, the Barats. Technically speaking, the alpha is there, but all of these heroes, they struggle facing up against the Luyi because they essentially kind of amplify the potency of the Luyi, because they just bounce off of that. Yeah.
You know, speaking of Luyi, because we didn't talk about her much, but I feel like that one diversion play to catch basic was like enough early pressure, and it stopped any build up for basic.
Yes.
You know what? Let me just throw this question just to show how strong Luyi is. You're talking about how this hero is bad going up against the Luyi, right? Who's good going up against the Luyi?
Chip.
If you can get There's an argument for the Ling, actually. Because you can really catch up, and honestly, you can kill the Luyi as the TP was charging. You know, that's enough time for the Luyi to be killed. But yeah, frankly, there isn't any good hero to face up against the Luyi, unless of course you get your own, which is the Chip.
Yeah, but I don't see a world where both Luyi and Chip gets through.
Even
crazier. Even crazier. Imagine if you first pick the Chip, and then the opponent doesn't pick up a Luyi, and then
you get both.
And then you get both.
That's
too much.
Yeah.
What is Luyi's win rate now? I mean, for a while she's 100%.
Only losing one game.
Twice.
Lost twice.
Oh, twice?
Yeah. Fnatic Onyx won against Luyi.
Love this new setup, by the way.
Oh yeah.
We're in the draft.
Yeah, right now looking at
We
draft
are
here.
the draft.
We are the draft.
We are the draft. Cloud9 has banned Ling as well as Lu Yi. And for Falcons AP.Bren, they banned out the Chip as well as the Valentina. So again, it looks like Falcon AP.Bren, just like Wolf said, wants that damage dealer inside of the jungle. So Valentina is just not part of the options now for Cloud9.
Yeah. So that means that you are prioritizing Harith now if you're Cloud9. Hopefully. So that means that you can ban the Roger now.
It's crazy how C9's first pick and now they're banning the Lu Yi.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of blue side Lu Yi bans nowadays, huh?
Well, we did see that in game number 1, Cloud9 passed up on Lu Yi. Lu Yi was actually third pick, right?
It was open.
It was open. They didn't pick it. It kind of tells me that maybe they're not that adept with the hero.
You were talking about Harith, but what about Cloud9 picking up the Roger for Mobazane?
Yep.
You talking about first pick?
First pick, yeah.
I think they could. I think a lot of people have actually asked this. Like, Roger's meta now, he's been more than ever. And you get that power of, oh, we could actually flex this into the hands of Basic.
Yes.
And we saw what they did in their grand finals with Basic on that Roger as well. So it would make sense that they pick it up because even if it goes in the hands of Mobazane, I think that would set the stage for a better draft for game 2.
By the way, can I just say something for now? Because for Cloud9 to proceed to the knockout stage, they need 1-point win here. And XYG just has to get a 2-0 off of Falcons AP.Bren.
Yeah.
Sorry, Falcon.
Falcons Esports,
Yeah, Falcon Esports, yeah.
So Cloud9 needs a one. They need one.
And then XYG needs to 2-0 for there to be a tiebreaker.
Tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Edith Roger just makes a lot of sense now for FCAP, right?
Wow. Great.
0 win. Oh, yeah, no, it's just
The Harith though.
Yeah, Harith.
Hairstyle?
Harith.
Yeah, Harith.
Harith hairstyle? That's his full name.
Harith hairstyle.
Harith hairstyle.
Okay.
The more you know.
Is this actual lore?
No.
Okay.
All right.
I know you've been,
Well, Leo could confirm.
I would say
Leo.
the historian.
The historian, exactly.
Okay. I think, Roger seems natural as a pick for
Roger
FCAP.
Edith.
Yeah, Roger Edith. Apart from that, what's the Valentina, perhaps?
Valentina banned out.
They banned them. Banned out themselves. But I think, Roger just makes a lot of sense.
And they banned out the Minotaur as well.
Oh, there it is.
Okay.
Roger.
Yep, so you go Terizla if you're Cloud9, that's great. And maybe, hopefully not Alpha.
So pick up a mage here, like a Faramis, perhaps? Or
Faramis is great.
Faramis, right?
Great, yeah. Great against Roger, but not the best versus Edith. Edith actually likes playing against the Faramis because you can just melt the extra shields.
Okay.
Go Grok. Okay, with the Valentina being banned, they're confident with the Grok. The Grok looks good. So Falcons AP.Bren might pick up their few hero now. Go
Vexana.
Yep.
Vexana for the knockups, you know?
Yeah.
You play the Eternal Guard knockup into the Edith with the Onward and Earth Shatter.
Yep.
You have knockups for days. Yep. And honestly, when we've seen a lot of teams utilize those combinations, whatever it is with the Edith, she seems to be the main staple.
Yep.
It ends up working out in a lot of their favors.
Farsa also looks good for FCAP. That way they can go for a hard lockdown on Ogwen, and then they have that burst with the Edith as well as the Farsa. There's enough range for you to kind of outplay the Harith because Harith wants to play around the Zaman Force. So if you just try to get out of that zone or get out of the box, you can then punish it with good range through the Edith as well as the Farsa.
We got to talk about how the draft coming in from Cloud9, now that they have the Harith, and because they have the Terizla, the EXP later is more of a setup guy. Is more of a tank.
Yeah.
So you need your damage coming in from the jungle. So the question is, what is going to be the physical damage dealer that Mobazane is going to dish out? And you would have to assume is the Alpha, but at the same time, you're hoping for something else.
What is going to be different? I think, maybe Granger.
There has to be. Like I mean, so far from everything we've seen from C9, it's only been Alpha. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. So I think at this point, when you're down to we need this point.
Yeah,
you have to change things up because so far, a lot of these game plans from C9 have not worked out. And I know it's a tough task because we're talking about the defending world champions here, Falcons AP.Bren. And after game 1, all that C9 saw was that little glimpse of hope when they were able to turn that one fight around for them.
I feel like Fighters is difficult now just because of the Edith. Right, you want to stay around in a team fight, but then you're just getting tossed up here, you're going to get knocked up there, and then imagine if the opposing side actually has a Vexana, and then I'm like shaking, I'm dancing, I'm terrified. Too much crowd control for fighters in the jungle. So, you know what?
So
Saber. Gorgeous said it. Oh, right.
Gorgeous, yep.
Gorgeous did say it. Saber.
If eventually Falcons AP.Bren picks up an assassin, I'm really liking the Saber. Like,
unironically.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. Like if they pick up Hayabusa, for example, if that is shown, maybe Fanny was picked up by Falcons AP.Bren because they're that bold.
Yeah.
You know? Even the Roger actually can get one shot by the Saber.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
So I hope I mean like this is essentially tournament life for Cloud9. Just show us something.
Get one notch on the unique heroes for MSC so far. What was it? 73? 73 so far?
73 so far.
We had 63 last MSC, was that right?
64.
64.
Wow.
Man, we are making numbers.
That shows how healthy the meta is right now.
Yep.
Yeah,
right?
it is.
Okay. Well, we're not seeing any of the draft.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're actually still going with those picks.
Oh. Yeah.
I mean, like, anything could happen. So we might as well talk about the significance of this match because it's do or die, not just for both teams involved.
Yeah.
For the entire group.
Oh, wait.
There it is.
Oh, okay.
They still went Fire Mist. X-Borg.
X-Borg.
We forgot about this. This could be a good flex. It could be played in the... It could be played in the jungle role. It also be played the XP, but of course the Terizla was already open, so maybe X-Borg is indeed the pick.
Honestly, X-Borg against Terizla is not a confirmed win, just because the Terizla actually has a lot of damage on the second skill so that you can actually take down the Friaga arm.
No, I mean like Terizla is already the EXP for...
Sorry, I did.
Cloud9, right?
Oh, yeah.
So they have they confirmed the X-Borg in the jungle. We have not seen most of the draft.
Falcons AP.Bren picks X-Borg.
Okay. Oh, Falcons AP.Bren.
Yeah, they pick up the X-Borg.
I wonder what that reaction is.
Oh.
Okay, wait. Oh, there's YSS?
Yes.
Was that the reaction?
We talked about it.
Hey.
We talked about it.
Love it.
He's just like, you know what?
I love it.
Send it.
I love it.
Reaction.
We did say...
Win or lose, we love it.
Yeah.
Yep.
YSS.
This is going to win.
If not the Granger, the YSS.
This is going to win, man.
You know what? Clip it. We called it first, okay?
Yep.
We called it.
What are we calling it?
No,
we called the YSS.
Yeah, we called that YSS. Like, I have his WhatsApp number.
All right.
It becomes an awkward conversation. I'm like, yo, when are you coming back in the meta? And then he's like, when did I leave? And I'm like, okay, you know what? You know what? Fair enough.
You have Yi Sun Shin's number.
Phone number.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow. Locked in.
Fair.
So Cloud9 has Yi Sun Shin and Farsa, and Falcon AP.Bren, they're last pick of the Fredrin, so the X-Borg is going to the EXP, so...
Oh, I love the Fredrin.
You love the Fredrin for this draft?
Yeah, especially going up against Harith. And there's... I guess the only problem here is the Farsa, but then you have Edith and Fairmist together with your team, and then you have the X-Borg that kind of... some players actually call it the bidet.
The bidet.
Yeah.
You know what? With that being said,
the bidet. I don't know.
To confirm,
Flamethrower.
Right now, the draft has been completed. Yi Sun Shin is here. I hope the casters are ready because it's your time to shine.
Breaking news, Yi Sun Shin makes it into the Land of Dawn here, upping once more the unique hero picks in the Mid-Season Cup 2024. Gideon Leo about to bring you game number 2 in the second broadcasted game of this series. And just to address what our cast were wondering with, does Harith have a last name? Does Harith have a last name?
Harith Styles?
No, he does not have a last name.
Does
he? He is just known as Harith. Harith.
Is he just the species? No, the species is...
Leonin. They refer to him as Lieutenant Harith under the Monian Empire.
Lieutenant!
Yep.
Interesting.
He's a officer in the Monian Empire's army.
Interesting. Okay, did not know that.
Yeah,
did
so
not know that
they
at
just
all.
call him Lieutenant Harith.
They just call him Sir Harith. How you doing? Good to you.
Yep.
I mean, when we talk about this draft, with the fact that we see Yi Shin is already very, very impressive.
I'm not so sure if Cloud9 was ready to bring out the Yi Shin though.
I mean, I felt like, based on the lip reading here from Coach Midnight and MLBB, he probably gave him a bunch of options. He's like, you can play what you want, but here are some of the options that I'm thinking.
So and so.
So. And I'm thinking that it's Yi Shin, Granger, and to a certain degree, Julian.
You're right, the Julian was open, but I'm thinking, hey, if those prior two choices were legit, the Granger and the Yi Shin, why not the Bane?
That's the thing, right? I will admit, the Bane would have been very interesting to see, and it definitely disincentivizes Kyle to actually play the only other assassin available, technically, which would have been Nolan, right?
Yeah, or even the clumping up through the Faramis.
You're totally right about that. But I mean, they've got answers, right? They've got the penalty zone, they've also got the Farsa as well. Hopefully that's not too much of an overkill, but at the same time, hopefully this Yi Shin will work, because I'm scared that it's going to come to a point where it's like, it reminds me so much of the previous meta. You want to be farm heavy, and then Frederick casually walks in, level 2, steals away 1 camp, level 4, comes back, steals 2 camps, level 8, takes your entire jungle.
And what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, what are you going to do about it?
What's interesting is the way Cloud9 is looking to inject a new flavor into the current metagame that is still, like, at this point, developing. You're now inputting global presence via the jungle. I think the only real global presence we have now comes through mid and Roam, if I'm not, like, sometimes you still see Roam Angela, right? So you have Loyi, you have Angela, you have Florin. And now they want to go like, all right, maybe we can go for the Earth Shocker, a Mount Shocker rather, and see if we can use that as a way to influence team fights across the board.
I think that's fine, right? Like, as a utility ultimate, you're not using it as a means to an end. You're just using it to kind of identify where your opponents are. Are they setting up a dive? What are some of the motions they're making across the map? You can even delay the motions because of the free information it gives you.
And the slight slow. Oh, no, they took out the slow.
Yeah.
See, it's been so long since Yi Shin has been in the meta. They've changed him a couple of times, and we didn't even notice. We didn't even feel it, except for those Yi Shin mains.
Yeah, Yi Shin mains.
Like MOBA Zane.
That's the one that he was known for, right? He loves those marksman junglers. And I think, you know, in this game, if he is able, well, I do think they still need, quote-unquote, a tank buster here. And I think by the time Yi Shin gets to that point of tank busting, DHS, like, it's so far down the road. I mean, I'm thinking that Mielo, he already has a hard time, but he has by far the most important job in the first 5 minutes of this game.
Yep. Again, not just them, not just Mielo, not just Zane, but all of C9 have to be on the same page, because that might be one of the main points of what made game 1 seem so one-sided. That's why it seemed like FCAP were always just right in C9's faces, because it seemed like they weren't communicating as much as they should have.
I suppose, I mean, we did hear from Coach Ducky there's like, we don't prepare for anybody, we work on cohesion. And I'm like,
it's us, it's about us.
Yeah, it's about us all the time. And I'm thinking about it, I'm like, wait a minute, where else have I seen this before? Who else is just talking about like cohesion, not really preparing for anybody else? I'm thinking about SRG, who has, we have a great bond. That could be associated to cohesion too.
You can also now bring up
Falcons.
Liquid Echo.
Oh, Liquid Echo is also a good one.
Just says, even Carly says, I'm happy when I see other teams lose. So that means they don't care about what other teams do. It's all about their tempo. It's all about their aggression. Now, after a quick sweep of the current metagame, I forgot to name a couple of other possible global ult heroes that are currently in the metagame. Moskov, SOD, and the shortcut on Le Chip. So there's a good chunk of universal ults that are in meta now.
I mean, there's also the Xavier with the DNS.
Sure.
Oh, sorry, DNL.
Yeah, that counts. Yeah, that is global.
It is global. It stretches across the entirety of the map. You know, gives you that free info.
And he has a very good win rate despite not being 100% in contention.
That's true. That's true.
He's a acquired taste, but if you love Xavier, if your team plays Xavier, your team plays Xavier.
An acquired taste. I like that. I like that a lot, as a matter of fact. But even so, right? I think that if C9 wants to have any chance of winning this game, it's really going to boil down to like some strong decision making, right? Even in the previous game, we saw a couple of times where, like, hey, MobaZane is already making his way over towards the purple buff, and then they all corral together despite having that level lead. The team says, hey, we might actually be able to do something, and he turns around. They need to not waste that time walking back and forth. If you make a decision, you commit to it, and it's too late to go back on it.
And I think the way that they forced Falcons AP.Bren to respond, or the kind of lineup that Falcons AP.Bren ended up with, allows for that. It's not a Hayabusa or a Nolan that suddenly snowballs out of control. It's a more controlled kind of push forward combat that Falcons AP.Bren are playing with. Okay, now in hindsight, I'm a little afraid because an assassin can slip up, but a utility jungler can just choke you slowly but surely like a vice grip.
I mean, I still remember the previous meta, right? It really boils down to like we've seen these matchups time and time again. Where that's why these utility tank junglers were so effective, because it's just, how do you punish them? You have all this damage, you make a mechanical mistake, and I can just eat the damage, make a mechanical mistake, and still kill you.
Which makes this a scary thought. It's like the metas of 2023 and 2021 are clashing in one matchup here in Game 2. Falcons AP.Bren versus Cloud9. Here we go. MobaZane secures both his buffs so far, while Kyle TZ is still trying to get his.
I mean, he is power farming, right? He is quickly trying to be as efficient as possible, leaving the very small camps to pick up later on, because he knows that Falcons AP.Bren, they want to get aggressive here, right? And MobaZane wants to be ahead of the curve, which he is right now.
Currently about 200 gold ahead of Kyle TZ, who is taking his sweet time. Both junglers now working on small camps, but mind you, Kyle TZ is still behind, folks, despite... sick.
Oh, man, Super Marco was playing this lane perfectly. He's got a slow push on his side, even throws out the taunt, knowing that he's basically won this lane. Like, basic, he's got to land a really good Synchro Fissure.
Yep. And we'll check in on mid now. There you go. There's the Mount Shocker. Able to check in on everyone, Flap TZ. Putting down the damage on to Mielo, the GOAT. And finally, they're at level parity, but still XP lead on MobaZane.
Yep, he's been able to clear out pretty much all of his camps in, honestly, quick fashion, and even picking up on the gold crab, well, technically river crab, on towards the gold lane instead of passing it over to basic. They've made sure that MobaZane is going to be scaling really, really quick, and I think that's a good idea, but that's on the assumption that their laners are going to be all right, and considering basic's current standings against Super Marco, it's not looking good.
Check this out. Falcons AP.Bren everywhere right now. All 4 members here. Oh, there's the Earthshatter onward.
Oh, he flickers away. Penalty zone's on top of it, but that just means that he's going to get just run down by Flap TZ. Even the Feathered Airstrike kind of in a weird position. They needed to make a call there, because for sure, you could see that MobaZane didn't really want to be part of that fight anyway, so they should have just backed up. Maybe slow it down, I guess, but when you're at 50% HP, it's too dangerous.
The question is, where does that leave Mielo? Was he necessarily supposed to stand around there? Did he want to put up vision? Did MobaZane need it?
I suppose he didn't need it at all, to be fair, right? He just needs to make sure that they can slow down Kyle and make sure that Moba has tempo, which I think he has right now, but at what cost, right?
Yeah, there's a stolen small camp away from Kyle TZ. And they do win the Little Wanderer, so that's extra vision, extra mana, extra move speed alongside the river to continue MobaZane's power farming, which is now put him in range of, I'd say, maybe 300, 400 gold away from a War Axe.
Yep, and he's picking up, like, farm from the mid lane, too. Like, they are supercharging him right now. They are injecting him with as much gold as possible to get him to where he needs to be as soon as possible. And I think that, even so, right, Mielo has taken too much damage. Now, the only way you can really get that big surge of gold is when you start invading your opponent and steal away their resources. And yes, MobaZane does have tempo on Falcons AP.Bren for now, but the side lanes cannot back him up on the invade.
Nope, he's on his own. He's in that little chamber, ready to pop out like Weapon X maybe after 4 or 5 minutes from now. There's the War Axe, but he definitely needs one more. I think he needs one more to really punish whoever comes in. And there's the Mount Shocker checking in. How's everybody? Where y'all at? Okay, I can take this purple and then maybe contest, but knowing what Cloud9 is going through right now, what they have on the board, I don't think they'll even fight for the second turtle.
Yeah. I like the way that Falcons AP.Bren are dealing with Mountain Shocker, right? Because, oh, wait, hold on. Simon Force has already been popped. It's 2v1 up on that top side of Basic. He's trying to get on out of there, but he's getting a little low. Ogwin, again, plays it really well, but here comes the cavalry here as Mark QT is able to find the trade back. Super Marco, honestly, kind of beating out his friend just to get a free kill.
Yeah. Still, I think that's a win for Falcons AP.Bren. Oh, no, Super Marco! Taken down, and down bottom, the trade.
Yep, we're seeing trades all across the board here. I was about to say, hold your breath, because MLBB and the rest of the gang are coming up to that top side, but they will get that tier 1, and in the meantime, Kyle gonna quickly run up and hopefully save this tower.
Nope. Unless Cloud9 coming through, looking for the charge.
Uh-oh.
There's the stun. Fuse in trouble.
All right, gets away from the Appraiser's Wrath at the very least. MLBB still alive. Mountain Chakra to reconfirm positions. In view, he cannot let go of the left stick. MLBB now in some trouble as, oh, like it pounds as well. Super Marco finds it. Great microwave from Falcons AP.Bren.
Whole world maybe 2 or 3 seconds away from a response. He does not have the wild charge, so not much he could have done to save his jungler. Now it's Cloud9's turn to dig into MLBB's farm as there's a turtle spawning in about a minute. This puts Falcons AP.Bren up by about 1,000 gold. That's what happens when you shut down MLBB's power farming. The fact that he hasn't been on the map for like 20-30 seconds means that the lead for Falcons AP.Bren will slowly balloon up, close the gap, even push him further.
I mean, let's think of it this way, right? It's like music. He's 2 steps ahead, but now FCAP, wait, hold on. Full world, no, still gets it. I mean, MLBB is still making sure that he is still on top of that retry. He is a full level ahead and make sure he says, hey, get out of my jungle. This is my property. But as I was saying, it's all about that tempo, right? C9, we're 2 steps ahead, and then with that 1 kill on MLBB, they fall back 1.
Here's another Mountain Shocker. Checking in on positioning. Wild charge!
It hits on towards Ogwin's side. Earthshatter doesn't connect as well as Basic leaps past him, but away from the Salmon Force. The key doesn't slow Ogwin down. They do lose that tier 1 regardless, but even so, at the very least, they don't give another kill over.
All right, FCAP on the defense up top.
Oh, so Marco, interesting, turned into the Lycan. Didn't think he wanted to pounce there, but I also think that Super Marco wasn't expecting that many people to show up.
All right, for the first time in this 6.5-minute game, looks like Cloud9 are looking to ready themselves up for a turtle fight. Unless they want to pick off first in mid. Ogwin walks into a bush.
Yeah, Kohler's got to get out of there. Flapteasy has been having the time of his life with Niello, really abusing him there. Oh man, he's getting, as soon as that heat gauge is maxed out, he is getting chunked out. But the real question is who is going to get this turtle. MLBB doesn't have to contest for this, but then again, there's nothing in his jungle to farm. He could try, but he's walking away, wants to be able to create some distance here as Falcons now going to put their attention towards the top side of the map.
Oh no, Mielo's in trouble. Earthshatter.
Yep, and even the Appraiser's Wrath coming out. Penalty zone as well. I would say that recalling at this point of time is worse than dying. You just lose so much more, right? Last Sanity gonna come out from Flapteasy. He's totally fine.
They're fine. Forcing out a DPZ from Yellow. At least he didn't have to use his flicker. So a defensive rotation from Cloud9 right now. Whole world gets Ogwin.
Oh, okay. I mean, I wasn't expecting that to happen. Cold World committing a lot of his spells onto the Edith, who hasn't gotten out, and better yet, very good from Ogwin's side, not losing his cool. He just didn't even bother to flicker. Just, oh, Primal Wrath, get out of there, stretch my hands, do some cardio, get back to what we're good at.
You mentioned cardio. I think there's a lot of cardio happening right now, meaning a lot of movements with really no violence, right? No payoff. Again, sending him home is the best case scenario. And so far, Falcons AP.Bren, despite there being more of a basic, forcing out a last insanity from Flap.
Oh, they could have punished there, but luckily Flap preemptively going for the flicker, knowing that he's in range of the Feather Airstrikers. Kyle looking for an opportunity to punish Basic. The Appraiser's Wrath is good, but Super Marco does not want to dive in just yet. Mark QT holding the nuclear option at bay.
Again, cardio. They're just jogging around each other, moving around, playing footsies, forcing out a response from Ogwin. The flicker already spent out. Lord coming up in 30 seconds. To be fair, even if Falcons AP.Bren are looking at a 2,000 gold lead here, and again, the map looking mighty red. So far, they can make their way towards any objectives that they want without much of a punish from Cloud9. I think this Lord is contestable.
It's definitely contestable, right? Let's just compare the stats up to right now. 2 towers to 2 towers, 3 turtles to 0, and I think that's the only real difference that these two teams have in terms of economy. It's just 3 turtles.
The farm is on the right places for Falcons AP.Bren. Marco had a basic, few ahead of Marcuity, and that's all you need really, because Kyle's playing a very different game now than he was in game 1.
Yeah, and I think the next problem is about to occur. Like, FlapTZ is going to be an issue here. They're going to have to like trade a resource, and I'm thinking that maybe it's going to be that Feather Airstrike, but they need that Feather Airstrike for later down the line when they have to deal with that Netherrealm, right? So this is a 2-layered problem. As now we get into the fight, Ogwin, you forced to use the Primal Wrap very early. Devin Force coming out basically a little early here, but Kyle, great game sense, locks him down, forces the Purify, instantly takes him out with the Primal Wrap. Nicely done as they get on out of there. Sorry, the Appraiser's Wrap. So we see FlapTZ trying to get on out of there. Nah, Few, as much as he wants to save his boy, the Netherrealm only has so much HP, but they do push C9 away from the Lord.
There's that signature clean Filipino play style. We get a trade, we get the Lord, we walk out, we don't force anything else. Falcons AP.Bren pushing the envelope, even taking a mid lane tier 1. Now again, a check-in on the farm here. Now even Flap is way ahead of Mielo. So again, can confirm the goal is where it needs to be.
Yeah, kind of interesting build coming in from Marcuity. Opts to go for the Genius Wand, right? Genius Wand on top of Sork Shoes, and then goes for the Bloodwings.
We haven't seen Genius Wand in a while.
Is it necessary in this case? I feel like maybe in the earlier stages of the game, he is 1-0-1. I don't blame him, but I do think that maybe even a Lightning Truncheon might have done him a little justice, but now this is what we were expecting to see. Falcons AP.Bren now becoming the hydraulic press, slowly putting the pressure on C9.
Yep, the vice grip on these resources that's going to close the gap between Mobazane and Kyle TZ. And now, checking in. All right, I think Mobazane found out what he already knew anyways. Like, he just saw the rotation from Falcons AP.Bren, so I think there's a part of him that's using that to clear the wave. So is this Feathered Airstrike.
Yep, I mean, it's a good way to do it, right? Keep as many of your structures alive as possible. Do not give Falcons AP.Bren more control over this map, as the tier 2s are going to get knocked. And I mean, as long as they have a couple still standing, as long as they have their inhibitors, it's not the worst thing in the world, right? It's only 11 minutes into the game. It's not over just yet.
With 4K ahead, especially with Cloud9 having a core in the jungle, a true core, who hasn't really died as much. Again, 1 death on Mobazane isn't the end of the world, but now the concealed play from Ogwin.
Could this be a potential flicker here? The Earth Shatter's already out, but they want to zone them away. Mountain Shocker revealing all their positions, but they're going to use the Feather Airstrike off the cooldown to clear the wave once more.
It's the same combo again, the Feather Shocker between Marcuity and Mobazane to clear the waves. And look at this! Cold World from the back!
Oh, penalty zone as well onto Ogwin's side, but here comes Kyle, as well as FlapTZ to zone away the back line to isolate their targets, as Basic left all by himself, forced to dash back out of the situation.
That was a genius move, well orchestrated by the roamer of Cloud9. But again, it just led to, Super Marco coming for the chase!
He finds 1 here. And a fun fact while we're at it, that Yishin Shin was last picked by Sans during MSC 2022 when he was still playing as a jungler.
See, it's been that long. It's been that long. MSC 2022 held in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, in the Maya Tech Studios. That was a long time ago.
Very long time ago. Actually, the debut, Naisu's very first international, in a matter of fact. Kind of funny if you think about it, right? 8 more seconds.
Reminisce on that, Joseph.
Mr. Rezebek, the building. Now, 3 more seconds until the Lord actually spawns here. And once it's up, I think that C9 really have to make some decisions, because unfortunately, this is going to be empowered, and it's going to have that ramming capability, which is great for taking down inhibitors.
If they don't contest this, if Falcons AP.Bren walk away with this, best believe mid lane tier 2's gone, maybe even an inhibitor. Cold World looking for an angle. Few, Ogwin, and Flap coming in. The secure by Kyle TZ, forcing Basic to drop the Z-Force.
Yep, and Mielo has to use the penalty zone defensively here as the Mountain Shocker finally comes out. All of this because they saw Marcuity show up on the top side of the map, and Falcons AP.Bren just blitz the Lord.
And here we go, the aforementioned push on that tier 2 in mid. Lord spawning in about 10 seconds from now. I think Falcons AP.Bren can use this Wild to take some time. Oh!
Whoa! The Zaman force backwards, but now the Feather Airstrike looks good. NetherRealm comes out to save the members of Falcons AP.Bren. Whoa! The emergency eject button as no.
Marco!
How? Why? And he TPs on him right in front of his doorstep.
Just for style.
He just pulled the rug,
Okay.
the home rug underneath Basic.
To be fair, a sudden team fight like that does not happen without a backup plan from Falcons AP.Bren. Cloud9, I'm sure, if they saw that the Zaman Force could have been sat on for maybe 2 more seconds, maybe they would have had that kind of response. But for Falcons AP.Bren, they saw Basic was standing around.
I mean, I think Basic was confident he could win that 1v1. He wasn't expecting Super. He does have a Purify, but in the 1v1 against Super Marco, like Super Marco isn't going in for no reason. But now, speaking of which, Lord already cracking down on that Crystal. Mid inhibitor still live, and Falcons AP.Bren just gonna have to back away. Looking for an opportunity to crack another inhibitor would be nice, but looks like C9 is on top of it. Great high ground defense from Cloud9.
Oh. Pushing out Falcons AP.Bren from their base.
Whoa.
Mobazane spots you. Looking for it. Pops a NetherRealm.
I mean, they've built some heat onto Basic, but so far, so good. It looks, I mean, I'm gonna say this. Falcons AP.Bren, this is not looking like this is the polar opposite of TLPH. TLPH was a spin on that thing kind of team. And Falcons AP.Bren, they really take their time. They're really using their lats, going back and forth all the time and making sure that this is going to be a clean game.
It's a slow burn is what they're doing. It's not just an all-in-one, you get everything you want. But now, Mielo gets spotted. Even these fights are going slower, huh? It's been a while since we've seen this metagame. Moonton has really done well to change the way we play MLBB.
I suppose. I mean, this is very, honestly, the way Falcons AP.Bren is very reminiscent of what the previous patch used to be. But at this point of time, I have to give it a C9, though. The fact that they're holding out in this manner, there is an opportunity to really turn things around. And we're getting to the final builds.
Look at this. Few Idol to my kids are picking up the Lantern. Again, that's going to hurt against Mielo, going to hurt against Cold World. Even Basic's going to think twice about it. He's going to get some tick damage.
I suppose. I think that C9 are also... Wait, hold on. Basic, now maybe in some trouble. Has to use Zaman Force. Last Insanity does come out, but Basic ooh, hold on. Now with the Feather Airstrike into the Mountain Chakra. NetherRealm could have come down. Immortality. Whoa, Mielo. Whoa! Oh my God! Super Marco flickers forward. He wants another one. Give it to him. Holy cow! As he fights 2 in the middle of all 5 members of C9. Make it a triple, and now they're cracking down on the Crystal. If they keep up the heat, they might be able to make a Maniac just in time here, and that's what Super Marco wants. He goes in, finds another one. Maniac, give him the Savage underneath it. Come on, dive him. They're gonna try. Mark Cutie says no.
The bees in Saudi go wild as you can hear them chant AP.Bren as the defending champions of the world sweep Cloud9.
Oh my goodness, Super Marco after game